So, hi guys, welcome back to my next lecture. As I introduced myself in the previous lecture, also let me introduce myself again. Myself Vallan Gupta, and I'm a first year student of Bachelor of Technology in Computer Science Engineering. So, in this lecture, this is the second lecture basically. In first lecture, I told you about like how we are covering the whole course of Python in 10 lectures. Now, in this second lecture, what we are going to learn. In first lecture, what we have learned, let's just recall about it. So in first lecture, I have told you about what is Python, why we use Python, where we need Python, and in which platform Python is used as well. So, and then which companies use Python, which companies use Python. So now in this lesson, what we are going to cover. This lesson is basically divided into 10 topics. So the first topic is variable, then keywords, then identifiers, data types, and typecasting, input and output, comments, expressions, statements, and expression versus statements. So don't worry about it. Like how do we cover this all? We are gonna do it. So these all are just simple things. Okay, you just have to listen and see the video, and you can also practice on that. Okay? Do practice on that. So now in lesson two, the topic first is variable. So now, what is variable and why do we need a variable? Variable is a named memory location used to store a data. What does that mean? So let's come to our Visual Studio Code. So let me explain what is variable. This is the file I've created. You can create any file. I've told you how to create file in a Python and how to use the functions and how you create a file, why we need this .py extension. I've told you everything in the first video. Related to application, you can watch also. So now, what is variable? The question is, what is variable? So let me tell you. A is equal to, let's simple, make it simple. Name is equal to, okay. What does that mean? Name is equal to Yash. You can see name. This is a variable. Yes, this is a variable. Then if it is a variable, then why it is not a variable? Let me tell you. Think name as a container. Okay, just think about that. A name is a container, and by this assignment operator, which is equal to, we have assigned a value Yash into the name. It means in a container of name, like name is name, name is a container. Just imagine that name is a container. Okay, and in container, what we have done in container, we have stored a value. So in container called name, we have stored a value which is Yash. Okay, you can store anything you want, your name, like anything you want. Okay, I stored Yash here. So Yash is stored in name. Okay, then Yash is stored in name, in which we store. This is called a variable, and what we store, this is called a data. Okay, we store data into the variables. Okay, so now what is the use of that? If I want to print my name, so how would I do that? I want to show it into the terminal, so I use the function print, as I have told you in the previous lecture also. So you are going to print name, and by this run option, you can simply run that there. So Yash is printed without any error. So now when error occurs, why error occurs? I suppose if I don't use this code, Yash, I have written as simple. Okay? So then if I print, then there is error. What is error saying? Let's see. What name error? It is a name error. Name Yash is not defined. Did you mean this? Okay. So ये कह रहा है कि इसको नहीं पता यश क्या है. अब अगर यही सेम चीज़ हम लिख दें यहाँ पर ऐसे डबल कोट्स के अंदर, तो ये प्रिंट हो जाएगा. it is printed successfully. So what does that mean? It is a basic syntax of the Python. Like I've told you, in every language we have a different syntax. Every language has its own rules. So in this, we have stored a value in a variable, and variable contains a value. If we want to call the value or we want to print the value, we use just simply print function. Also we can store another values into another containers, and in one function only we can use multiple variables. So I'm using a is equal to 10, then I'm printing a. So now from this we can know what value is stored in a. Okay, so now we can see, listen, Yash and 10. So by printing a, we can get to know about that what is stored in a variable. We can create more variables also, like b is equal to 20. So if I created b is equal to 20, I haven't printed it, so let me print it first. So now we can see the value. Listen, first is printed as a name, Yash. Second printed A, then it is 10, then I printed B, which is 20. So it is that much simple. We can name variable anything I want, but there is a rule while declaring the name of the variable. We can't declare anything to the variable. Like I can't do this. Def is equal to, I suppose your name is RIA. So okay. Now if I want to print that, that will be an error. Why? Because def is a predefined function in a Python. We can't use keyword as a variable. This is the rule. I'm showing you. Listen. So in rules for naming variables, you can see can contain letters A to Z. First of all, Python is a case sensitive language. Like case sensitive means this A and this A, they both are different. Yes, capital A and small a both are different. Python treats them differently. In some languages which are not case sensitive, in them we can use alphabets as lowercase or uppercase, doesn't matter. Like in DBMS we can use that. In DBMS lowercase uppercase doesn't matter, because the language is not case sensitive, but the Python is a case sensitive language, so in Python we can't use that. So in Python, small a and big A, both are different. They both will be treated as differently. So rules for naming variables are can contain letters A to Z and capital A to Z also, and digits 0 to 9 and underscore. But the digits, while declaring digits into the variable name, we have to ensure that digits should not come into the first place. Like let me remove this all first. So if I am declaring a variable name, so let's suppose one name, it is red. Okay, it's a VS code, it's a compiler. Basically it is telling you that you have written a wrong code, so it's just suggesting you correct it before error comes. Okay, so now if I store Yash in one name, so it will cause an error. Let me try to print it. Name. See, there's an error. We can't do that. It is against the rules of the Python. It is just simple syntax error. As I have told you, every language has their own rules. We have to learn them. We can't do anything in that. The rules are rules. We have to follow them. Okay. So cannot start with digits. There is a rule. Cannot contain space or special characters except. I told you, you can't use special characters, and also the space you can't use. Like I have assigned a value Yash into the name. So if I want to create a variable name, let's delete this. If I want to create a name age, like I want to store name and age both. Okay, so I've did this name and age. And if I want to print Yash and 20, so if I want to print that name image, it is a variable, but it is not a variable. See, there is a syntax error. Why syntax error? Because it is a space between them. If I don't use a space in them, it will be okay. There's no error. Yash and 20 were printed easily. So now this is a another rule. Cannot be a Python keyword, as I have told you. Cannot be a keyword. You can't use keyword like that. Keywords are some predefined functions or some keywords which Python uh, used predefined. Okay, so like as I gave you example of def, and there are many more. Like some you can use some is not a predefined function. So I'm giving a list of keywords also in lecture. So this is all about the variables. Variable is a container in which we assign details. This is an example. Suppose your name is age is 18, name is Ria, and CGPA is 8.75. Is pass true. True is a boolean value. It's a data type again. I'm going to yes, I'm going to tell you about data types also. What are data types? So here true is a data. Don't be confused while reading this. I'm going to explain that also. So let's come to the keywords. What are keywords? As we have learned in the variables, we can't use keywords as a variable. So what are keywords? We have to know what are keywords. Keywords are reserved words in Python that have predefined meanings. As I've told you, we can't use keywords because Python has some reserved keywords which they have a predefined meaning. So we can't make a keyword as a variable, so it will cause an error. Because if Python have some reserved words and it has some meanings of that, and if the predefined meaning word I'm using as a variable, it will cause an error obviously, क्योंकि अगर कोई पहले से वर्ड प्री डिफाइंड है पाइथन के अंदर और मैं उसको दोबारा से यूज़ करके उसकी वैल्यू चेंज करना चाह रहा हूँ, तो पाइथन सीधा सीधा एरर ही देगा कि पाइथन उस चीज़ को एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेगा. So we have to understand that there's a list of Python in which false class finally is written while is loop and non continue for lambda try with true def from non local yield asterisk. These all are the keywords. Okay, you can take a screenshot and you can write in your notes also. So key points are keywords are the part of Python. Keywords are part of Python syntax. They have special meaning and cannot be redefined. Python is case sensitive. I've told you earlier, Python is a case sensitive. Using a keyword as a variable name will give a syntax error, as we have seen that. Let me show it to you again. Let's use it again. I'm using variable as a for and store something to that, like I'll do it. It is a string basically. Data types for भी आएंगे कोई बात नहीं. 4. If I want to print the 4, it will cause a syntax error. See, it is a syntax error. If I change the variable name as fine, it will be okay, because fine is not a keyword. Fine doesn't have any predefined meaning. So if I print fine, it will not cause any kind of error. Oh, it's indentation error. We have to think about indentation also in Python. We can't give spaces anywhere. Let's see, there's no error. I'll do it and I'll do it. It is printed as well. We can use clear command also for the terminal. It's just for your education purpose. So we as given command the clear and everything is cleared into the terminal. So it just look good without any complications. So now come to the next topic. Using keyword as a variable name will give us syntax error. We have learned it. Okay. For each URL, I'll come to that also. The example is pretty complicated for you. If age, what is an age, what is this? I'll come to that also. Okay, you don't need to worry about it. So now The topic 3 is what are identifiers. So we are going to learn identifiers now in the Python. What are identifiers? So identifier is a name given to the entities like variables, functions, class, modules, objects in Python program. Okay. Rules for identifiers can contain A to Z underscore cannot start with it. Valid identifier are used. It is kind of similar to the variable. Yes, it is similar to the variable. Let me show it to you. So yes, now we are going to learn about the identifiers. It's kind of similar to the variables also. You can see it is looking that it is a similar kind of thing to the identifiers. Oh, sorry, the variables. So what is the basic difference in between identifiers and variables? Let me tell you about identifiers first, and then we will define the difference between identifiers and variables. Okay, so come to our VS Code. See, let me write a program in which I said name is equal to. Okay, suggest me something. What will I write? That's my name. Okay, just go with that also. So I'm going to define the age is 20. CGPA. CGPA is, let's go with 6.89. Then this is enough. Okay. If I want to print the name, the age, and CGPA also, so I can print it. It will run smoothly. You can see it is running smoothly. So now, what is an identifier basically? So here, the name Yash is defined by a name variable, but it is an identifier also. Like variable is what? In variable is what that does contain some value, that store some value, and the identifier is what the name of the container which is storing a value. Let's give you an example. Just imagine that it is a container. Okay, container. It's just a container. Okay, think name is as a container. Okay, name is as a container. Okay, so name is a container. So now container stores a value here. If name is a container, so container stores some value. So container is what? Container is a variable. Now container is a variable, but what the name is, I have specified the name. Name is actually name of variable. You can see container is the variable and the name of the variable is identifier. So the name of the variable is identifier. You got it? Let me tell you again. Name is a container which stores some value, and identifier is what? The name of the container which stores some value. So now here you can see Yash is stored by the name. So Yash is stored in the variable which is identified by the variable name. That is identifier. So this is the similar difference between the identifier and the variable. Okay, so let's come to the next topic. Case sensitive, as I've told you already. Python is a case sensitive language. Both n, small n, and capital N, both are different. Both will be different. Both will be treated differently. So let me show you an example of that also. If I store some name into the NAME, and if I store same name into the this. Okay, so if I print name small n, there is a difference in between. You can see it is a capital N and it is a small n in that. So if I print small n name, it will print Yash. But if just I switch capital N with the name, you can see it print Rahul. So that is the difference. Both are treated differently in the Python. So Python is a case sensitive language, as you know. So now we see where identifiers are used. Where identifiers are used in variable, as I've told you how in variables identifiers are used in functions and modules and objects and classes also. Don't worry about that. We will going to learn about functions, modules, objects, and classes also. So example in code, you can see valid identifier. The same rule we have learned in the same rule as we have learned in variables. The same rule are in identifiers because it's pretty similar to that. So now come to the topic 4, which is data types. So now I'm going to talk about the data types. So what is a data type? A data type specifies the type of the data a variable can store and the operations that can be performed on the data. So we can see what is data type. Let me tell you. There are total 6 type of data type in the Python. 6 are those we which have to learn. Okay. So let me show you. Okay. So first we are going with the int. So as you can see, if I want to store my age, so I store age 20, and if I print it, it is it will be printed. So as you know, it's a variable and identifier and it's an operator, and we use printer. You know that. See now what 20 is. When you say 20 is the data I have stored in the age, but why we don't need double quotes on 20? As you said, if you see, if I want to store name, I need to store it in double quotes. Otherwise, it will give an error. But while assigning 20, we don't need double quotes. Why? Because it is a different data type. Here, Yash is a different data type, and the age 20 is a different data type. So, what data type it is? It is a int data type. Int means it is an integer. The age cannot be in decimals. So I have used integer here. In Python, I don't have to define the data type. Python can detect automatically that what is the data type of the specified data. So we don't have to define the data like in C. If you know about C, we have to define data type first, and then we assign the value, then we enter the data into the variable or identifier. But in Python get it automatically that what kind of data you want to store. If I store 20 here, Python automatically knows that yes, 20 is an integer data type. I don't have to tell to the Python. So if I want to know like how I'm telling you that it is an integer data type while saying it, but what if I don't know what is stored in the age? What type of data is stored in the age? What would I do? So I can use simply one more function in it. If I want to see what data is stored in the age, so I use type function. Type age. By writing this code, this line, print type age, let's see what will happen. See, class int is printed. What does that mean? This means the data type is stored, the type of the data is stored in the variable age is integer data type. You got it? So this is the basic overview of the data type. Now we talk about how many data types we have. We have total 6 data types. First one is string data type. The second one is integer data type. The third one is float data type. Oh, sorry. Float data type. The fourth one is uh, Boolean data type. The fifth one is what? Let's see what is the fifth one. The total are 5 only. So int, float, string, boolean, and complex. Yes, fifth one is complex. In our syllabus, we have to learn 5 only. Okay, you don't have to learn 6, 7, 8. Python has 5 very data types only. Okay, let's cut it, bro. Trim it. Now you got the basic overview that how to define the data type, like how to know what data type is stored in the variable I want to know. If so, I can use the type function here. So it will return what type of data is stored into the variable. It is that much simple. So now let's learn about how many data types we have to learn about. Don't worry, I'll explain each and every data type. So it is a int data type, as I've explained you. So next is the float. So what is a float? Let me tell you about float. If let's suppose I don't want to print age, like okay, age cannot be in decimal, but something can be in decimal, like bank balance. Yes, bank balance if I want. So let's suppose I have a 100.5 rupees in my bank balance. So how will it print it? If I want to print bank balance, it is 100.5. There's no error in it. But why it haven't given an error? But if I want to store some alphabets, I have to do it in double quote. But in this, I don't need a double quote. Why I don't need a double quotes? Because it is a bool. It is a float data type. So in float data type, basically the major difference between float and int is integer cannot be in decimals. For decimals we use a float. It is the basic difference. If I want to store some decimal point value, I'll use float data type, and I don't have to specify the data type before inserting into it. The Python will get it automatically that if it is a decimal point value, then it is a float. Obviously it is a float. So what I have to do for checking that what kind of data is stored in bank balance variable, the same thing we have did it. We use the type data type, type function, in which I have to write bank balance and can simply get the data type. See, there is a class float. As I have said, class float is a data type. A data type which is the data which is stored in the bank balance variable. The type of the data is float. Next data type is string data type. As we know, for a string there is a rule, we have to always print it in double quotes. We can use simple single quotes also, like C, but preferable is we have to use double quotes only. So if I want to see the type of the data which is stored in the name, what I have to do, the same thing, we use type of name. You can see if I do this, see class str, it means it's a string, so it is a string data type. So next is a complex number. The complex data type is, for if you know the basic mathematics, if you have learned in your 11th and 12th, so you should know about the complex data types, not data types, but you should know about the complex numbers. If you don't know them, don't worry, it is not that much complicated. I will tell you. The complex data type is what? Let me show you. So if you are from maths background, you already know what is complex numbers, but for those who don't know, I'll tell you. Complex numbers are those, it's a imaginary numbers basically. It doesn't exist in the number line. It is not negative and positive, not zero. It's a totally imaginary numbers. And in the field of machine learning, we use, like in voice automations, we use complex numbers, we use matrix in the voice automation systems, but that is a different thing. So now I'm going to explain what is a complex number. Complex number is basically an imaginary number. So if I see 3c is equal to 3 plus 4j, that is a complex number. Here 3 is a number and 4 is the imaginary part. It is that much simple. बस इतना ही पढ़ना है आपको इसमें. अगर मैं आपको यहाँ पे कहूँ कि मुझे प्रिंट कराना है सी, तो मैं प्रिंट सी लिखूँगा और सी प्रिंट हो जाएगा. सी इज अ सी. तो यहाँ पे भी मुझे कोई स्ट्रिंग के जैसे डबल कोट्स नहीं डालने पड़े हैं, ना मुझे कोई डेटा टाइप स्पेसिफाई करना पड़ा है. पाइथन को ऑलरेडी पता है कि ये क्या डेटा टाइप है. अब अगर मैं चाहता हूँ कि पाइथन मुझे बताए कि कौन सा डेटा टाइप है, सो लेट्स टाइप फंक्शन. See, it is a complex data type. Python already know what kind of data I want to store in it. It is just like I don't have to specify the data type. So this is the basic function I have to use. They let me do everything for you at once. Name is equal to, yes. So let's use some different name. Rahul. And the age of Rahul will be 20. The CGPA of array CGPA is 9.8 of the Rahul, and then which data type is that? Complex. Okay, complex number. Let use C as a C. If I use 3 plus 5, okay. Now we'll use a boolean also. Okay? So I'll use variable name is Rahul adult. It's a very lengthy variable name, but don't worry about it. We can create a variable name at any length. So I'll store a variable name true. So now I want to print the name of the variable. So what is stored in the name? Okay, I'll use print. I want to print the age. The age will be printed. I want to know the CGPA. The CGPA will be printed. I want to know what is the complex number we have stored. I'll use it. I want to know is Rahul adult. Then what will happen? Let's see. Everything will be printed without any error. For print name, the name is printed. For print age, the age is printed. For CGP, the CGP is printed. And print C, it is a complex number. I have just used it for the data type because it isn't data type and I don't have something. So please understand it. Okay. So is Rahul adult is a boolean data type. If I print is Rahul adult, the true is. So there is a difference that I don't need double quotes in that also. Double quotes is only used in strings. Okay, it is a boolean data type. So now we want to print the type of each and everything also. So what we are going to do, we are going to do the same thing again. Oh, sorry. And the final is type, and then you can see the first is the name is stored in a string data type, the age is stored in the integer data type, and the CGP is stored in the float data type. The complex number is stored in the complex data type. The true is here a boolean data type, as I have told you before. So now come to the next topic. We have covered till the data types. Now we will see what is typecasting. The topic 5 is typecasting. So now we are going to learn about typecasting. A typecasting is a process of converting a variable from one data type to another data type. So what does that mean? If I store something in integer, so how can I convert it into the boolean? How can I convert it? So you can't do anything. You can't do everything. You can do something, but you can't do everything. Okay. So you can do what? You can convert float data type into the integer. You can convert a integer into the float. You can convert a string into the integer or float. You can convert boolean into boolean. So here in boolean 0 and 1 means 0 is a false and 1 is a true. So in complex number you can convert by using the function 3 4, it will convert automatically into the complex number. So now let's see how we will converting these kind of functions into the typecasting, like how can we convert one data type into another. I'm going to tell you about it. So now you can see this all we have done. We can use just control plus forward slash, then it will all as comment out. What are the comments I'm going to tell you in the lecture here, so please wait for that. So for now I'm going to remove this all. So now we are going to tell you about typecasting. What is typecasting in Python? So you can see typecasting in Python is, if I have something data into a float data type, so how can I convert into a integer data type? So let's suppose I have a variable name a. So I have a very stored value is 5.6, and I want to print it. It is a 5.6 printed. There is no error. But I want to convert it into an integer. Then what I have to do? Then let me check what type of data it is first. So I'm checking that data is a float, but I want to convert that data type float into the integer. Then what I have to do? So I'll simply use a function int 5.6. So here you can see int 5.6. It means 5.6 will be converted into an integer. So now if I want to print simple a, we can see a is printed as 5. Here you can see the value is inserted 5.6, but 0.6 is lost and the 5 is printed. How is that possible? That's why we have used integer here. If I want to now know what type of data it is stored in a, I can see that also. So I can access that, print type a, and see there's a class integer. You can see before that I have did this integer data type. It is a float data type, but after doing that int, it is a integer data type. So that is the point. You can convert one data type into another data type. Let's see if I stored some value in a string. So how can I convert it into a string or into an integer? So let's say salary. If I have a salary, so salary is suppose I have a 50,000 salary. Okay, 50,000.86. Okay, this is my salary, but it is in a string data type. It is not an integer. It is not in boolean. It is not a float data type. It is in a string data type. If I want to print that salary, what will happen? You see, 5,000.86 is printed normally. Nothing happened. So, what we want now? What we have to do? 5,000.86, if that can be printed easily, then why? What we have to do here? So I want to remove that 0.86. I want to do it round up. That tell me what is the total salary without the decimal values. So I'll do what? I'll do integer data type by writing simply integer and in parenthesis, and store the value inside the parenthesis, and then you can see if I print salary, there is an error. Of course, there's a why. Cut it, guys. Cut it, guys. Cut it, guys. You can't do it. So now we are going to convert one more float data type into an integer. If let's suppose I have a salary of 20,000.86, and if I print salary, then it will be printed as this. Let me clear it first. So if I am going to print that, it will be 20,000.86. So what I have to do now? So I have to just convert it into the integer data type. So how would I convert it? I use int, and then I'll use this parenthesis and store the value inside this int and parenthesis function. Now let's print. It is 20,000, and if I want to print the data type also, I can use the simply type function here. And if I press this, you can see it is a class int data type. So that's how it is converted. So now back to the topic. So I have told you the visual representation of that. How can you convert the data types into one data type into another data type? Float, string, boolean, and complex. You can do it. Okay. So now you can convert float to int, into float, into string also, float to string also, by using these functions. Okay. So as I have used int, you can also use float here. You can also, let's see, if I use this, let's remove this. If it is a and value is 5, and I want to print 5, oh sorry, I want to print a, then what will happen? It is 5 which is printed, but if I want to convert it into the boolean, I don't have a decimal value. What will be printed if I convert it into the float? So I'll convert it into float first, and then see it is 5.0. 0.0 is come. So you can see we can convert integer into float data type. Also I can convert it into the string data type also. Yes, absolutely. 5 is a basically integer data type, but if I want to convert it into a string, so I'm going to convert it into string also. You can see the type of it, and see there's a class string. So that's how you can convert one data type into another. That's what type casting is called. So you can try these also. These all are the functions. So as we have learned about what is data type and what is type conversion, what is typecasting, basically what is variable and names and identifiers also. So now we move to the next topic, input and output. What is input and what is output? So let me tell you it in the shortest way. It's a simple way. So see, if I create a variable name and store value here yes, then print it name. So you can see it will be printed easily. Nothing will happen. No error will happen. Yes is printed easily. So the if you here you have assigned the value into the name, container, or variable, or identifier, you can say anything. So you have assigned the value there. But if you want to take input from the user, what will you do? Like I want to take integer, like I want to take input from the user. Like I don't want to give a value. I just assign a variable. Imagine it as a container only. So just imagine I have given a container to you, and I want you to drop some name into the container. So here you can see similarly I have made a container called variable, which is name, and I want a user to input some value into it that will be printed. So first I have to take some input from the user. Then what I have to do, I will use the input function to get input from the user. Just simple name input, and then I'll say enter your name. This is the input from input function while writing input and using parenthesis, and this is a string, enter your name. It is a string. So by this function we can take input from the user. So let me clear it first. This is the input. If I run it, it is asking me to enter my name, saying enter your name. I'll say yes. Okay. So it is stored into the variable called name. So now if I want to print name, like after getting the value input from the user, which is stored in the name, I want to print that. So what I have to do, I will do print name. Simply, this is an output function. Print is an output function. You are getting input from the user and then you are giving an output as a developer. Okay, so if I am running, it is asking my name for again, and if I said yes, the yes will be printed because I have used this function as. So this is basic input and output in Python. So let's move to the further topics. Output in Python, I have told you about input and output. Syntax, I have told you. So you can do these examples also. These examples are very simple. You can take name and print, which I have done here. You can take input as an integer also and numbers also, and you can take with data type also. Like, let me tell you about it. If I want to get input of age from the user, so I want input enter your age. Let me delete this first, I don't need it. So I give input and use age. I want input from the user, that what is your age, and then print them, then print their age. So if we run this code, enter your age, let's see, I have entered 20 and 20 is printed. That is okay, but the problem is what? Then problem is enter your age. If I have asked for an input from the user, so user can write anything. He said enter your age, I am telling my name, I tell my name, Yash is printed. So Yash can't be the age na. So that is the problem. So for that, what you will do, we use input with a function. Like age is only be in integer. Age cannot be a boolean value, age cannot be true or false, age cannot be a float value, because age is integer only. Like you are 19, you are 20, you are 22, you can't be 22.5 man. So age is always an integer value. So we'll use input with a data type. So use input, and now I'm telling to the user enter your age. Now that will be okay. If I asked about the age from the user and user is entering the name, then it will give an error to the user that you are invalid literal forend. It says invalid literal forend, which means you are assigning a wrong data type value into the variable. So you have to assign only integer data type. Now if I run it again and print a value 30, give input of 30, then it will be okay. If I go against the data type, I'll use different data type, it will cause an error. So that is the method, that is the agenda of this topic. So we can use input with another functions. If I want input only in a string, I'll use just str there. If I want integers or if I want input only in float data type, like if I want it in decimal point values, then I'll use float. So that's how we can use input. So now move to the next topic, which is comments. What are comments and why do we need comments? So here you can see we are using very basic codes, but while developer use language, then they use multiple line of code, like 100 and 200 lines of code. And if another developer is coming to see that code, or if you push that code to the another developer and another developer see the code, then comments just help to developers to read that, then this line of code means this, then this block of code means this. So we use comments for that only. The comment is only visible to the developers only. The users can't see what comments is written into the code because it's in backend. So comments are lines of text in a program that are ignored by Python interpreter. Also we use comment, then the if we use some kind of sentence in English or in Hindi or in another language, the interpreter will cause an error, obviously, because it is against the rules of the language of the Python. So we use comment there. So if we use comment, the Python will ignore that. The interpreter will ignore that, as it will leave it as it is and work on the next program, work on the next line. So how we create comments? So for a single line comment, we use a hash. Hi, it is a comment. If I want to run the same code again, it is working. See, 1.5 is written. But if I want to do it in multiple lines, we can't use. If I want to write a comment of 500 lines, 200 lines, 100 lines, 50 lines, I can't use hashtag in same again and again. So I'll use triple quotes and write in between this. If I want to write some it is a multi-line comment, yes, I can use it. It will ignore, Python will ignore it. See, so that's how comments works. So comments are only for developers. The user can't see the comments. And the next point is over commenting is not recommended. Over commenting means if you are writing comments again and again and again for fun only, that it is not recommended. That's not a sign of a good developer. So write in clear, meaningful comments. Yes, you need to write a meaningful comments. If you've written a code, then write in a comment that what this function or this loop or this function will do. Okay, so update comments when code changes. Yes, this is a best practice only. So you can read about it also. So let's move to the topic 8, which is expressions. So what is an expression now? So an expression is a very valid combination of operands. What is operands? There's a question. What is operands? To compute a single value. Let me tell you about it. Expressions are of different types. First of all, what is an expression? Let me tell you about it. Come to the VS Code. If you can see, and it's in printer, then we are talking about operators. Yes, we are talking about expressions. So if we talk about expression, what is an expression? Expression is plus, minus, and multiply, divide, and modulus function. So what are these? Why I have written these all? What they do? So if I want to print 5 plus 10, yes, I can do that. In Python I can do that. Python supports addition, subtraction, multiplication, and divide also, and one thing more also. So I use print there, and I have used it with the plus operator. If I use this print 5 minus 10, what will be printed? It is not 5, it's minus 5. So see, it is a minus 5 which is printed. If I want to multiply that, I can also do it. 5 into 10, 50. We can do this also with a variable also. Let's see if I store some value in A and some value in B. So I want to print A plus B, then it will be printed simply. There's no error. Alright, wait. See, 15 is printed without any error. So we can do that. There's no problem in it. Also we can do minus. We can do multiply. For multiply we use asterisk operation. For divide we use slash. If I do slash, then there's a 0.5 because it is a, let me do it. So there's no error by the way. So see, it is a value which is printed by dividing 50 by 10. One more thing is the modulus operator. What does this do? Let's see what will be the output. See, 0. Why 0? Because it returns you the remainder of the function. You did A divided by B, like 50 is divided by 10. The remainder after dividing that is what? Is 0. Remainder is 0. Then remainder is printed. Yes, that is the work of this operator. So if I want to print the remainder, like I'll print the remainder of 8 will divide it fully. So we'll go with the 7. 1 will be the remainder. See, 2 7 7 49 are 7 into 7 is 49, and 1 will be the remainder. The remainder is printed. So that is the work of that. So this is the expressions. So we have different kind of expression here. These all we have talked about is arithmetic. One I have missed, which is let's see, it is a 2 or that is a 2. One I have missed, which is a double asterisk b. It is for a power, like a double asterisk b, which means it is a power of a is 2, power of a is b. बेसिकली हो क्या रहा है कि यहाँ पे 2 है, तो ये 2 की अगर हम 2 डबल एस्ट्रिक 2 करेंगे तो ये बेसिकली 2 की पावर में 2 जा रहा है, यानी कि 2 इंटू 2, 2 बार 2 प्रिंट हो जाएगा. अगर मैं यहाँ पे 3 लिख दूँ तो क्या होगा, तो 2 जो है 3 बार डिवाइड हो जाएगा, 2 2 2, ये ऐसे हो जाएगा. तो यही काम है इस ऑपरेटर का. सो व्हाट डज दिस ऑपरेटर डू? इट सिंपली इट इज in power of that, like b is in power of a. So if the we see the output of that, we will do it 2 into 2 into 2. That will be the output, which is 8. So let's see the output of that code. You see, it's simply. So you can see that. So now move to the new topic, and you can see there the key points, expressions. So So as you all know, we have covered almost 8 topics, and we have just left with the 2 topics only. So we have covered their expressions. Now come to the 9th topic, which is an arithmetic expression. We have talked about arithmetic expressions. What is a plus, what is operand, what is operand, and the result. Let me tell you operand and operator in detail. So here, if I do print, let me clear the terminal first. So I'm clearing terminal. So 10 plus 10, if I do here, it is a 20. So let me describe it. Here 10 plus 10. So here 10 is what? 10 is a operand, and this 10 is also an operand. If I use 100 there, then that is also an operand. And the operator which I have used, this is an operator. Plus is an operator, and the data we have used 10 and 100. It is an operand. It is a simple explanation of that. So come to the web. Usually in code we can say yes, we can use this also. If I want to print 10 plus 20 and then multiplication of 20, we can use different operators at the same time. Like we can use equation also for it follow BODMAS also. So you can see there it will be printed 600. That is, so that's how it works. The key point is the division always gives a float value. Float division given an integer value, parenthesis to control the order evaluation. Let me tell you about it also. If I want to print 10 divided by 2, this will always print a float value. As you can see, it is a 5.0, but if I don't want a float value, what I have to do? I'll do just simply floor division of 10, which is by double forward slash. So we use for forward slash for division. The output of that single forward slash is on float, but if I use double forward slash together, then see what happens. Yes, the output of the first print 10 forward slash by 2, it is in float, but if I use this double forward slash, then it will be in integer. So that is the difference between float division and division. So now if I want to do it, you can do these examples also for practice. Arithmetic operations use numbers for variable and arithmetic operation to perform calculations. Python evaluates them according to PADMAS, BODMAS, as I have told you. Rule produce a single numeric result. So let's do with the final topic. The final topic is expression versus statements. So as we know, what is expressions? An expression is any combination of value, variable, operators, and functions called that evaluates to a single value. It doesn't perform any action by itself but produces a result. That is a expression. Expression we have done arithmetic expressions, and now what is a statement? A statement is an instruction that performs some action. Statement do not necessarily return a value. They control the flow of the program or change the state of the program. See, it is an example. Assignment, then print, then conditional statement. Will come through conditional statement also in the next lecture, so don't worry about it. So we'll cover loops also. Don't be confused in that. I'll explain everything. So statement are just a set of lines, set of code we have written. It is a statement just. If in which I've used expressions and all, then the final 2, 3, 4 lines of code is a statement. Per line is a statement itself. So what are the key differences? Definition: combination that evaluates to value. Statement: instruction that performs an action. Exactly. The expression is what? The combination that evaluates to a value. This is expression. 5 plus 3 is expression, but the statement is instruction that performs an action. So जो स्टेटमेंट परफॉर्म कर रही है उसको हम स्टेटमेंट बोलते हैं, ठीक है. सो एक्सप्रेशन रिटर्न्स अ वैल्यू, ऑलवेज एक्सप्रेशन रिटर्न्स अ वैल्यू, बट स्टेटमेंट मे बी और मे बी नॉट, देयर इज अ डिफरेंस. सो एग्जांपल, एक्सप्रेशन के लिए आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर 5 + 3 कर दिया है, x × 2 कर दिया है. सो ये हमेशा एक वैल्यू रिटर्न करेगा जो कि एक्सप्रेशन. अब स्टेटमेंट ये है x = 10 इज अ वेरिएबल, इट इज़ असाइंड into the variable, then it is a statement itself that x is equal to the 10, then it is a statement. So if x is equal to 0, we will come to if else also conditional statements in the next lecture, don't worry about that. Can stand alone? Yes, expression can stand alone and statement also can stand alone. Primary purpose: to compute a value and to perform a task. So used in LHS or RHS program for action that not that much important. So when we use statement, use expression when you want to calculate or evaluate something. You need to value as a part of a larger expression. You are passing arguments to a function. You are using a value in conditional or loops. We'll come to function and conditional statements and loops also. Just read 2 of them only. Now in statements, you want to perform an action. You want to change the state of the program. You want to control the flow. If, while, or file is a loop, or is a loop, if is a conditional statement. We'll come to that. So you want to take input or display output, that is okay. So more examples are this, you can use them and for practice. So now this lesson has done completed, but now we are going to conclude everything what we have learned in this lecture. So in this lecture we have covered what is variable. Variable is a name used to store data. It holds a value that can be used and changed within the code. So the next thing we have covered is a keyword. Keyword are reserved word in the Python. They have special meanings, cannot be used or identifiers. Yes, you can't use them as a variable or identifiers. So example यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, if else for while def return true, false none, in and or not, etc. So third is identifier. Identifier are used to user defined names for array variables, functions, classes, etc. Rules start with the letter. So of course Python is a case sensitive language. So fourth we have covered data type. What are data type, different types of data type, how to convert one data type into data type. It is a typecasting we have covered in a fifth topic. So next is an input output function, like how to take input from the user and how to print and how to give output to the user. We have done it also. So we have done comments also. What are the comments? why Python ignores the comment, and where we use comments, why do we need comments. So next we have done expressions also. We have done arithmetic expressions in detail. Later on sessions I'll tell you about logical expressions also, different type of expression also. But in this lecture we have done arithmetic expression in detail. You can use addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division, and modulus function, which returns a remainder value. So we have done these expressions. We have done arithmetic operations in detail. Yes, plus, minus, multiplication. We use asterisk for multiplication, as I told you. It is a division. It is a modulus, which will give you a remainder of the division. It is exponential function. I've told you about it also. I've told you about floor division also. So 10th we have done expression versus statement. What are statement, what are expression, and what is the difference between them. I've told you about that also. So quick reference table, if you want to recall everything, you can just take simply a screenshot of that. So it is a quick reference of the table variables to store data using name. Example, x is equal to 10. Keywords, reserved words with special meanings. Example, if for y. Okay. Identifier, user defined names, rules start with letter, case sensitive. Data types, integer, float, string, boolean, complex, and others in advanced topics. Yes, as I have told you. So in typecasting, convert one data type into another using int, float, string, etc. Input, output, how to take input, how to give output. Comments used, hashtag for single line and multi-line comments. Expression, combination of values, variables, and operators that give results. Arithmetic operations, expressions are plus, minus, straight, multiply, modulus, and floor division, and this is a power function for mathematical calculations. Expressions versus statements. Expression produce a value, statements perform an action. So it is an example of codes also. Important takeaway is Python is these are the important note points only. So you can write it into your notes also. So you can read it them and recall them. So Python is a case sensitive, like small a and the capital A both are different. They will be treated different in the Python. So indentation is a more important. Indentation I have told you about in the middle. Indentation is a spacing between the values or the lines. So in next upcoming lectures we will talk about indentation in detail also. So don't have to worry about if you are confused in indentation. I'll clear it out. So and the third point, every value has a data type. Yes, every value has a data type. If I write a sentence, it is a string data type. If I write in alphabets, it is a string data type. If I write something in numbers, it is an integer data type. If I write something in decimals, it is a float data type. So everything has a data type, and we don't have to specify data type also in the Python. So expression produce a value. Yes, expression produce a value. Expression, I have told you, it's expression can be different types. We have covered arithmetic expressions in the detail, which always produce some value. Like if I do 10 plus 2, it always produce a value 12. Then statements perform an action. Yes, a statement performs an action. I have told you about that also. Practice is the key to mastering Python. This is the most important point. Practice is the key to mastering Python. Like जितना ज़्यादा आप कोड करेंगे, जितनी ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, उतने अच्छे से आपको कोडिंग आएगी. यही आपको करना है. तो दिस इज़ all for this lecture. Thanks for watching this lecture. We'll meet in the upcoming session, and then we will talk about if else conditional statements and loops also. So thank you for the video. Thanks.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं, फिल्मोरा है ना.